Hi, today we're going to teach you how to make a whiskey sour, both with egg white and without. We'll touch later on what the differences are and why you would or wouldn't want to put an egg white in. So the whiskey sour is formed of very simply 3 ingredients, 4 if you go for the egg white, but let's just work on the 3 right now. The sour element is lemon and sugar. No point in complicating it any further than that. We're going to use sugar syrup today, but I'll show you another video on how to deal with that later. It's very, very simple. We're also going to use whiskey, naturally. We've gone for this one. We always recommend to stick under the £20 price point for your whiskey sours or any cocktail where you're going to start adding loads of other ingredients. You definitely don't want to be buying bottles too expensive, because the reason why it's expensive will be lost as soon as we start adding some other flavors. So this one here particularly, it's under the £20 a bottle price point, so it's perfect. Bell's, Jack Daniel's, anything around that realm will work great for this drink. So, first thing we're going to do is we need to extract the juice from the lemon. When I work on events, I do things at scale, and I have to make hundreds of these over the course of a night. When that happens, we start moving into things like this, where it's been pre-packaged into a litre pouch. A lot of you will be very, very tempted to go out and get the Jif lemon juice, which sounds absolutely fantastic, but it's concentrate. And I'll be completely honest with you, I don't, and not many other bartenders do, know how much to dilute that concentrate by. And it tastes foul. So the best thing to do is either get lemon or get some pre-packaged. Obviously it's not fresh, it has some preservatives in it because they have to package it. But this is the closest you're going to get. Today we're just going to use a fresh lemon because I'm going to assume at home you only want to make 1 or 2 of these drinks. So what we're going to do is get our shaker tin out. Lemon, I'm going to half that. There we go. And now to extract the juice from the lemon, the best way to do this with tools you have at home. Bartenders will have juicers, will use that pre-packaged stuff, or someone will be doing it for us and bringing it out in bottles already pre-squeezed. You're not going to have that luxury. Therefore, what I'm going to do is just rest a tea strainer, sieve, mini thing on there, and then I am just going to insert this spoon, any spoon at home will work, obviously I've just got a lot of bar tools, in there like that, and quite simply just rotate the lemon around the spoon. Now what will happen here is it will extract everything that lemon has to give, super simply. Okay, so there's literally nothing left in that lemon at all. We've used obviously the strainer to hold back the pips. And now we just have lemon juice in there. So we have the juice of half a lemon. Okay. Sugar syrup would be what follows. Now, if you aren't going to make syrup, that's no problem at all. You can use basically a teaspoon to half a lemon is your ratio. So if you're making 5 teaspoons, and then you want 2.5 lemons. What we are going to do, as I said, is get the sugar syrup out. This is just pre-dissolved syrup. That's it. Sugar, water, broken down. That's it. Some shops will sell you a bottle of gom, which is their posh way of saying sugar syrup, for like £7. Don't buy the stuff. It's literally sugar and water just dissolved. I'm going to use that in this just to save myself having to dissolve the sugar. In terms of measures, you want about 15 millilitres in there, or the equivalent of a teaspoon. Next up, I'm going to add my whiskey. I want to add about 35 millilitres to this shaker tin. Now, if you don't have these things at home, egg cups will suffice. They'll give you a measure. I'm sure you can Google or just work out how much is in there. I don't use them though. On events, I need to work quickly, so I spent the time learning how to free pour. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3.5. There we go. We don't count in seconds for free pour. It's way too much. So there is 35 millilitres of whiskey in here. There is half a lemon, and there is around about 15 millilitres of sugar in here. Now, ultimately, that's all I need. What I would do at this stage is pop my ice in, shake it up, serve away. If that's all you need, there you go, good luck. However, we do have the ongoing argument about eggs. Many people can be freaked out by it. On events when we're dealing with hundreds of people that aren't cocktail, really even connoisseurs, some of them are trying cocktails for the first ever time. As soon as you talk about egg white, they become very freaked out, very nervous. The thought of raw eggs. Obviously, we're going to use pasteurized eggs. However, the difference of whether or not you would put an egg white into the drink is quite simply, do you want it to have an extra rich foam or not? That's it. Demystified for you. So, many bars will really want to accentuate the foam for you in order to either make it just more palatable and prettier to look at, to create a platform in which they really want to overdo the garnishes that they sit on top of the drink. There's a plethora of reasons as to why they do it. We're going to make both, and you can make your own comparisons and own decisions. I'm going to crack on at extracting my lemon juice like this. Yeah, so you just rotate the lemon around the spoon and just effortlessly, you've just juiced a whole half lemon with zero waste. All sorted. I'm now going to add my sugar. I'm going to add my 35 ml of whiskey. So both of these shaker tins are completely identical at present. And then when it comes to the egg whites, what you need to do is you then need to do a two-stage shake. In the industry, we call that a dry shake and then a wet shake. The dryness is purely the absence of ice and no other reason. So you're just shaking only the liquid with the egg white. Now, the reason why we do this is purely without the ice and just that liquid going, it really starts to emulsify, all the posh mixologists will use the word, aerate, foam, all of the normal stuff that we would use. So all you're doing with that dry shake is building up the foam and no other reason. Many other bars will try and dazzle you with all these reasons as to why they do it. Some of them just want to look posh. Even if they don't need a dry shake, they'll start doing it. However, don't be confused. All they're doing when they're doing it most of the time is for a sour. The only time they would ever do it is if an egg is involved in the recipe. If they're doing it any other time, time to stop messing about. I have already extracted an egg white and I'm going to pop it in that drink. So now these are different. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry shake my whiskey sour with the egg white in. I won't let you get bored with this one. Let's forward this on a little bit for you. Right, so with this, I have now created a quite substantial foam. What we're going to do now is add ice to both of these. And shake them down completely as normal. So remember, this is our egg white, this is not. Probably could have done that a little bit more elegantly. Never mind. That's all it needs. So I've got my 2 glasses here. And first of all, what we'll do is the whiskey sour that was just shaken. You can strain this ice away and pour more ice in. However, you're at home, you've probably only bought 1 bag of ice, so let's not waste any. I am going to do what in my days when we were training was called a working mixer. A working mixer is when you would literally just shake all the ingredients, things like Long Island iced teas, etc., where just everything can go back in the glass. So that is what we would call a working mixer. Add a bit more ice, all set. This one with egg whites, I'm going to treat the same way, just so you really can see the difference in which this creates. There we go. So, as you can see, this has created a much thicker, much more aesthetically pleasing foam for many, but that's all subject down to your own personal taste. Now, how to garnish these things? There are many, many ways. Most commonly, cherries can be used, lemon slices can be used. Some people add bitters right off the bat. It looks great, just this little brown dash on the top of the drink. It does look great. However, I would recommend that this is like salt and pepper. Okay, if this drink is too sweet for you, you pop a dash of this on to pull it back. That's its purpose. It's not always necessary. Taste the drink first, same as you would taste your dinner. Just have a little bit, oh, needs more salt. No problem. Treat the bitters in this way. Basically, if you've created something too sweet, this is designed to just bring it back. Okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to slice a couple of discs. Nice and thinly. Okay, and then I'm going to place those just down the side there. I'm going to chop a straw, just clean in half. What bartenders will tend to do is with the ice that's in the drink already, the straw will help pin the garnish in place, which is why a lot of bartenders tend to hold the garnish as they place the straw in on a corner of the glass. If there's such a thing as a corner, they're round. But it helps just hold that garnish in place and pin it down just to keep it looking at its best. Next up, cherries. This is, in a degree, the same as the bitters. If it's too sour, you're going to use cherries to pull it back the other way. So how we're going to do this is simply, you can either use the tinned, jarred stuff that will contain a lot of cherry syrup, maraschino syrup, a lot of people would call it. That can help bring it back to the sweet side, or obviously you can just use the cherries as the garnish. Now I have the fresher cherries, so I'm going to pop them on just because. So there we go. You've got a cherry, you've got a lemon, all those elements. And just in case anyone does want to see, that is what a dash of bitters will look like. Now, that's your whiskey sour. Really, really simple 3-ingredient drink. 4 if you want the foamier approach. Now, some people do want to know where this comes from. Again, if you don't, we're all done. Good luck. The link's in the description below to take you to the recipe and any written wording that you need in case you do need to reference back for this. For those of you that want to know where it came from, the world of sailors, where most cocktails came from. So many sailors travelling across the seas, the water was never fully reliable. It would spoil. If you've ever seen a pond that goes untreated for a certain amount of time, it starts to go slimy, things start to grow on the top of it. Water was stored in barrels. Over the months they would spend at sea, the water would begin to spoil. So they would put alcohol in there in order to extend the life of that water before it's spoiled. This is where the whole rum thing comes from, and the sailors obviously have their portion of alcohol each day. It was already in the water. So you've already got, in this case, whiskey in the water. They also were contracting scurvy, and what they discovered was citrus was what helped combat that. So you've already got your citrus and you've already got your whiskey and a touch of the water, which as you shake, the ice melts, which creates the water. So sugar just became added to taste. And there you have the whiskey sour. It became a natural creation through the forms of sailors. Now you know a bit of history about it as well. Enjoy your drinks, guys. If you need help learning how to make sugar syrup, we have provided another video. It's super simple, but we've still broken it down for you. Or if you're making a night of it, why not try another cocktail which we'll suggest? Move on to that one, see how you get on. Cheers.